Hey everyone! Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another video. So today is Wednesday, which means we've got a science experiment to do, and I have a special guest with me who's gonna be helping me out. Who do you think it is? I think you Homework Club kids might recognize her. It's Miss Lindsay! Hi! So she's gonna be helping us out today. We're gonna be building competing ships made of tinfoil to see who can hold the most coins. We've got a riddle to do first. So our riddle today is kind of a stumper. Let me know what you guys think at the end of the video when we will reveal the answer. So, what's something that gets more wet
the more it dries?
You think you know? Keep it to yourself until the end of the video. Just joking. Feel free to blurt it out. I can't hear you. But I will be asking for answers at the end of the video, so I'll see you then. So today you'll be needing tinfoil and a competitor. I'm so excited that Miss Lindsay said she could join us. And I'm sorry in advance. Tinfoil is really, really crinkly. So if there's times where it's super loud, please just cut me a little slack. It's loud. So we're gonna be using tinfoil. We're gonna be using a bowl that we're gonna fill up with some water. And we have a bunch of coins that we've been saving that we're gonna dump in our boats to see how much our boats can handle. So we're really trying to see how much can float before it sinks. So our objective is, Miss Lindsay,
to see how many pennies we can fit in the boat before it sinks.
And do we have a hypothesis?
Yes.
What's your hypothesis?
I can add 15 pennies to my boat before it sinks.
15 pennies. All right, I'm gonna try and up that. I'm gonna say 20 pennies. Oh, all right, so stay tuned. We'll show you guys how to make your boat. All right, so I've got my boat ready. Lindsay has her boat ready. Lindsay, you wanna show us what you've created?
I made a little rowboat.
Ooh, row, row, row your boat.
Row, row, row your boat.
It's honestly looking a little bit better than what I have made. I tried to make, like, I guess a dragon boat. I wanted to go for having a longer space to fill with the pennies. Hopefully it floats. We will see shortly what design is triumphant in the battle of the penny floats. So, let's see. In just a minute, I'm putting the finishing touches on because
you have to make sure it's watertight.
Yeah.
You want all the creases to be flat.
You definitely want to make sure that if there's a hole in the bottom, if there's a rip on the side, you get another little piece of tin foil, cover it up. You're more than welcome to use tape. There's no rules about not using tape, in my opinion. And just create the best structure you can. And now, let's see who can hold the most pennies. I'm gonna say me. Okay. My ship went down pretty early. We only made 8 cents. We only had 8 pennies. My bad.
But my boat made 31 pennies and didn't sink.
But it did, as you guys saw, hit the bottom. So we took the coins out that we kept pointing in after we realized it had hit the bottom. We did want to see if it would take on water. If we put on more pennies, would the sides kind of give out? But Lindsay made a good boat. So congratulations, Lindsay! Woo! If I had a trophy to give you, I would give you a trophy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And now we've got some positive action.
Bye.
Wasn't that a blast having Miss Lindsay on the show? I know. I loved it too. It was really fun to compete and see who could do best. And even though we were competing, we still had a nice time. We encouraged each other. And that is what our positive tip or positive action is about today, is encouraging others. So it's okay to be competitive and say, "Ooh, I'm gonna win." But at the end of the day, root for each other, lift each other up. You can still be proud of yourself and the work you've done while still cheering on others. So today was a perfect example of that. What you guys couldn't see was as Miss Lindsay was putting the pennies in our boats, she was also hoping my boat didn't sink. We were both disappointed when it went down. And that is encouraging. It's lifting each other up. You know, it's the least we can do to help each other. So that is our tip today, and now we've got a book to read. If you guys last remember, we left off as Jack and Annie were just about to put something in the Ghost Queen's sarcophagus. So sarcophagus is a tomb or little coffin in ancient Egypt, as we've learned. So they're about to do something spooky. We'll see what exactly happens, I'm not sure, in Chapter 8, The Mummy. A real mummy. Bandages were still wrapped around the bald skull, but most of the bandages had come off the face. It was Hoot Pie, Queen of the Nile. Her broken teeth were showing, her little wrinkled ears, her squashed nose, and her wilted flesh. Hollow eye sockets as well. Plus the rotting bandages on her body were coming off. You could see bones. "Ugh, gross," cried Annie. "Let's go." "No," said Jack. "It's interesting." "Forget it," said Annie, and then started out the room. I gotta say, I'm with Annie on this one. "Wait, Annie." "Come on, Jack, hurry," cried Annie. She was standing by the door. Jack pulled out the Egypt book and flipped to a picture of the mummy. He read aloud. Ancient Egyptians tried to protect the body so it would last forever. First, it was dried with salt. "Ugh, stop," said Annie. "Listen," said Jack. He kept on reading. Next, it was covered in oil. Then it was wrapped tightly with bandages. The brain was removed by... "Yuck! Stop!" Annie cried. "Goodbye," and she dashed out the room. All right, we've got a picture. As promised. Haven't missed a picture yet. "Annie," called Jack. "We have to give her the Book of the Dead." But Annie was gone. Jack reached into his pack. He pulled out the scroll and the scepter. He put them next to the mummy's skull. Was it just his imagination? Or did a deep sigh seem to shudder through the room? Did the mummy's face grow calmer? Jack held his breath as he backed away. Out of the mummy's room and onto the boat room, down the stairs. At the bottom of the stairs, he heaved his own sigh. A sigh of relief. He looked down the hallway. It was empty. "Hey, where are you?" he said. No answer. Where in the world was Annie? Jack started down the hallway. "Annie," he called. Had she run out the pyramid? Was she already outside? "Annie, help! Jack!" came a cry. The voice sounded far away. It was Annie. Where was she? "Help! Jack! Annie!" Jack started to run along the shadowy hallway. "Help, Jack!" Her cry seemed even fainter. Jack stopped. He was running away from her voice. "Annie," he called. He went back towards the burial chamber. "Jack!" There, her voice was louder. "Jack!" Even louder. Jack climbed to the stairs. He went back into the boat room. He looked around the room at the furniture. the musical instruments, the boats. Then he saw it. Another door, right next to the door he had just come through. The other door was open. Jack dashed through. He found himself at the top of some stairs. They were just like the stairs in the other hallway. He went down the hallway. It was lit by some torches on the wall. It was just like the other hallway. "Annie," he called. "Jack! Annie! Jack!" She was running through the hallway toward him. She crashed into him. "I was lost," she cried. "I think this is one of those false passages built to fool the tomb robbers," said Jack. "A false passage?" said Annie, panting. "Yeah, it looks just like the other hallway," said Jack. "We have to go back into the boat room and get out of the right door." But just then they heard a creaking noise. Jack and Annie turned around, looked up the stairs. Then they watched in horror as the door slowly creaked shut. A deep sound rumbled in the distance, and all of the torches went out. Excuse me? Chapter 9 is going to be crazy, so make sure you tune in tomorrow to catch what happens next. Oh my goodness. All right, well, we've got a riddle. I'm sorry, that was a lot. Can you imagine? You're in a pyramid, you don't know where you are, and then it's dark. Ugh. Nightmare fuel. Anyways, our riddle. So does anyone remember the riddle? All right, so we asked, what is something that as the wetter it gets, the more it dries? Do you have your answers? Do you remember? Well, the answer is a towel. Get it? Because the more you dry yourself off, the wetter it gets, but it's also drying you off. I thought it was funny. And I hope you guys do too. So join me tomorrow. We'll be doing a super fun math activity, and I'll see you then. Bye. Thank you for watching.